There are games that can really defy a franchise, and I feel like nothing is ever more evident for that than Sonic Adventure 2 for the Sonic franchise. A game that has been loved and adored by fans for years, a game that has made a generational impact for decades. Sonic Adventure 2, in my opinion, is the greatest Sonic game of all time. And in this video, I wanted to give it its flowers, to really show appreciation and love to a game that really showed the true potential of maximizing the style of these characters and the franchise as a whole, while also showing the pure and chaotic fun that these 3D Sonic games really can be. Today, we're taking a look at Sonic Adventure 2. The journey to Sonic Adventure 2 is one of a rather interesting tale. See, there was one thing in particular that Sonic Adventure 2 had a hurdle that they had to go through. The Sega Dreamcast was on its last legs, and sadly it was not meeting to expectations in comparison to its rival in the Sony PlayStation 2. Straight up, the PS2 dominated this console generation, and completely held the advantage in terms of console sales. The Sega Dreamcast, however, was really having a difficult time in terms of meeting sales expectations, which is a shame considering the Dreamcast actually had a lot of great titles. For one, it had Sonic's first 3D video game in Sonic Adventure, a game that we have already discussed on the channel quite recently, and a game that has shown the true potential of what 3D Sonic games can be when they have a true vision. But there was even other games that really did well in the Dreamcast. Games like Jet Set Radio, Shenmue, Space Channel 5, and even Crazy Taxi all made big names for themselves during the Dreamcast era. However, it all came to be at the end, with a 2 to 3 year run that completely ended the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast's end would officially be confirmed and would be discontinued by the end of 2001, around the time of Sonic Adventure 2 coming to be released. And also, the difference in teams that are making this game was kinda crazy. Sonic Adventure's team had a total of 120 staff members. For this Sonic Adventure 2 game, it was cut down to 11. And the reason for that was because Sonic Team was trying to continue the tradition of what they did during their first instances with the Sonic franchise. From Sonic 1, they had a Japan team working on the game, whereas for Sonic 2, they actually had a US branch work on it. And this is exactly what they did from Sonic Adventure to Sonic Adventure 2. The Japan team would work on the first adventure, and Takashi Iizuka would then go to San Francisco, California to be able to work with other 11 staff members, to be able to help localize the game in the West, along with developing the game over there, and completely creating Sonic Team USA. From this point forward, Sonic Team USA would officially become a recognizable and original brand within the Sonic franchise, as well as a very known development team that would help continue to build and make Sonic games. And so Yuji Naka and Takashi Iizuka would continue to be the main heads that spearheaded another adventure title. And then, it finally existed. Sonic Adventure 2 would release on the Dreamcast by 2001, and boy, there is so much to talk about when it comes to this game. The first things first, I just want to talk about, just in general, what to expect with Adventure 2, as I believe that Sonic Adventure 2 is actually a far superior game in my opinion, and a game that I prefer than Adventure 1. Now, I know nowadays, it's a big debate on which one you prefer. There are a lot of things to like about Sonic Adventure 1, as I've highlighted in that video. However, Sonic Adventure 2 just does something to me that I really do love and enjoy personally in comparison to other Sonic games, whether that be Sonic games of the past or Sonic games of the future. SA2 is always a game I always go back to, and I feel like I now can be able to explain why. Sonic Adventure 2 has this great thing where it's really able to have incredible replayability, which is something that the Sonic franchise has been known and accustomed for throughout the years. But man, in this game in particular, the replayability value is insane. But let's talk about what makes it so great, shall we? Because there's gameplay styles in this game that come back from Sonic Adventure 1 that I believe have an impact in how Sonic Adventure 2 goes. And whether how you feel about it or not, I'm here to explain why I prefer it. There are 3 different types of gameplay styles: the speed gameplay, the mecha gameplay, and the treasure hunting gameplay. Let's talk about the speed gameplay, which is the main course of this game as a whole. These are the Sonic and Shadow stages that you play throughout this game. They're your typical 3 Sonic the Hedgehog action platforming stages. You know how the gameplay was of Sonic and Sonic Adventure 1. Pretty much that, but in way more cinematic scope, and in my opinion, also more perfected. While yes, there is a debate on which Sonic you had of preferred movement, as I believe both games are really polished in their own way, I really do love the way the characters move in this game in particular, and particularly the way Sonic moves in this game. The way he's able to be quite fluid and the way he moves around in the game, as well as how good and easy he is to control within this gameplay loop, is fascinating. And even in his stages, the cinematic scale has completely increased with some of these, and even the tension and the high stakes of every situation that Sonic is going through has been felt in every stage. And honestly, I can even say that for Shadow, the newcomer of the Sonic series that gets added into the franchise with this game. His stages are really great. While there are some Shadow stages that are shorter in length, I do believe he also gets some stages that are longer as well. What's super interesting about Shadow is that it takes a bit to actually get to play his first stage, but once you do, boy does it leave an impact, and you start to really want to know why this mysterious hedgehog is doing what he's doing. There's also the mecha gameplay, which is pretty much inspired by Gamma's gameplay in Sonic Adventure 1, now with walking mechs from Tails and Dr. Eggman in Sonic Adventure 2. And I'm not gonna lie, especially with my most recent replays of this game, man, I am really in love with the Tails and Dr. Eggman gameplay in this game. Especially because now you can attack within chains. You can pretty much keep a combo continuing from 1 through 11. 11 being the perfect combo, and continuing through there. It is just awesome to do with these mech style of gameplay. Now yes, a lot of people talk about Gamma's speed and everything throughout Sonic Adventure 1, but the thing that I do love about Sonic Adventure 2 really is just the attacking process of the mechs. Being able to chain attacks, and also being able to make a difference within your score is also something to talk about. I'll talk about the score in a bit after we get through these gameplay talks. But then this is the final different type of style of gameplay, the treasure hunting stages. Also returning from Knuckles' stages in Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Adventure 2 brings back the treasure hunting stages, this time a little bit differently. There are still 3 Master Emerald or Chaos Emeralds to collect in each stage depending on what the main objective is. But it's different. You see, in Sonic Adventure 1, you were able to track all 3 Master Emerald pieces within that stage simultaneously. However, in Sonic Adventure 2, you're only able to track 1. And this is gonna come out as a hot take, but I actually prefer this. And there's a reason for this. A lot of people might say I'm a little crazy for it, but let me explain in due time. You see, in Sonic Adventure 1, I feel like due to the fact that you are also able to track the 3 Master Emerald pieces, you don't really get to spend that much time in Knuckles' stages. Yes, there are stages like the Sky Deck and where you're pretty much there almost so long because of the stage structure, but I feel like when it really comes down to it, the Knuckles stages in Sonic Adventure 2 are my preferred ones. Simply because the tracking of the radar actually allows you to really explore the stage in its full capacity. And I know what people might think. There are some people out there that just want to play the Sonic and Shadow gameplay stages, and it's all to you. If that's your cup of tea, then I totally get it. But honestly, for me, I'm a guy that loves diverse and variety in my gameplay styles. And man, I can't lie, I really love the treasure hunting stages in this game. While yes, there are some that are way bigger and larger in scope, a lot of these are pretty much boxed in. And if you actually really look down on it and replay these stages, you'll start to notice that they're really condensed in stage size. And that's the thing that makes them work like crazy. They worked in Sonic Adventure 1 with the way they were handled, and they continue to work in this game. And by the way, Rouge, also another newcomer that joins the Sonic franchise with this game, also add on to this as well. You see, while she does have stages of Master Emerald collecting, she even has other ones that have a different variety of objectives to obtain. And honestly, she also has one of the craziest ones, which we'll talk about, in a couple moments. But these are the 3 different gameplay styles that make up Sonic Adventure 2. They're all incredible, they all feel lively, and in my opinion are the preferred ways that I love to play them. Yes, I know it might be a little bit of a hot take, but there's a reason why I consider this game to be my personal greatest Sonic game of all time. And it's because I can always go back to these stages and have a bunch of fun of replaying them. And I will always, to this day, be a treasure hunting defender of the Sonic Adventure 2 treasure hunting stages. But now let's talk about the other new component of Sonic Adventure 2, which is now the new and improved ranking system. A thing that would stay for the Sonic franchise for the long run. You see, the whole ranking system in this game is actually perfect, and is something that honestly goes so well with Sonic games. The way how fast you complete stages, the amount of rings you collect, also the amount of score you're able to obtain in one stage will all be accumulated by the end to give you a rank. Or from rank E, which is the bottom rank, all the way up to rank A, the top rank. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this game, in terms of its ranking system, is a little challenging. While I do believe the treasure hunting stages are pretty easy to get an A rank, especially when you know the sizes of these stages, the mech stages are by far the hardest ones to get the A ranks. Mainly because it's just like I was talking about, the chain attacks. Being able to chain up to 11 actions with one attack is something that is pivotal, because your score will tell you exactly how good that specific thing that you did really would come to fray. For example, it tells you on the text whether it's good, tight, cool, or even perfect, and it continues to do that for the point range that you obtain for a specific action. And so in my opinion, Sonic Adventure 2's ranking system is really great, but I especially love it for the speed stages, of course. Mainly because there are stages in here that are really fast, and also feel like if you really know the levels well, getting an A rank is incredible, and also add to the replay value of wanting to get that top rank. Which, by the way, since we're talking about the ranking system, why don't we go ahead and just talk about the stages specifically now that I really love and I want to bring attention to. I of course have to talk about City Escape, the first stage you encounter in Sonic Adventure 2. You see, in City Escape, you go down with Sonic on a board to start the stage, then you go through the city in a fast pace, and then finally ending with a truck with a running dash away from a truck. Kind of insane start to a game, but it all gets set up very soon within the story. Even Knuckles' first stage, Wild Canyon, is really great, and also really shows the condensed compactness of these stages as well. Even stuff like Pumpkin Hill that he gets later is incredible. I really love this level layout. Dry Lagoon of Rouges is a good first stage, especially with the fact that the way how you go through the 2 different areas within this one stage. I of course have to talk about Metal Harbor and how incredible of a stage that is, with the way how you get through this stage with Sonic, as well as getting on a rocket that blasts off by the end and having to get to a specific part of it in order to fly away. I really love Eggman's Cosmic Wall stage because of the gravity use here. It's also his final stage within the Dark story, and I really do love this, by the way. The way this stage uses the gravity as well as being able to obtain the score here is simply insane and kind of chaotic. There's also these 2 random stages that have Tails and Rouge doing a driving stage, where pretty much you need to catch up to either the President or Tails himself to be able to continue the story moving forward. And both of them are really also easy to get the A rank. Just make sure you maintain your speed, be able to get the boosts, and they're a lot of fun. Green Forest and White Jungle are 2 incredible jungle levels in this game. They make you feel the high intensity and the pressure to be able to make sure that you leave the area that you're in. There's so many incredible levels in Sonic Adventure 2, and quite honestly, we could be here all day to talk about their glory, but I really wanted to also highlight the final levels within both the Hero story and the Dark story, that being Final Rush and Final Chase. With Sonic's Final Rush, it's a lot of rail grinding, which is a new thing that got added into this game. Sonic and Shadow, thanks to their speed sections, are able to do this new thing added to the Sonic franchise in rail grinding. You're able to rail grind to be able to get through different branching paths within levels, and they're just seemingly great and work a ton to be able to get through stages in different variety of ways. And Final Rush, that is entirely Sonic's stage, for the most part at least. Being able to really get through the stage in this fast pace with all this rail grinding, being able to use what you've learned throughout the game of how rail grinding's mechanics work, to be able to get all the way to the end of the stage, and one of Sonic's hardest, is great. Final Chase uses some sort of gravity mechanic again, this time in a very different way for Shadow, and in all honesty, it works out very well. Both of these stages obviously take place within the arc in space, and man, they are incredible. By the way, I've mentioned certain story beats, but I think now is really time we dive into the story of Sonic Adventure 2. The story of Sonic Adventure 2 starts off with Sonic really jumping out of a helicopter because he's being framed for doing something that of course he didn't do. Later on we find out that it's actually Shadow the Hedgehog, the new character in this game, and we find out that he's doing all this because he's now helping out Eggman. Since Eggman freed Shadow, Shadow is now helping Dr. Eggman to pretty much conquer the world and achieve world domination. Reason for it? Because Eggman freed him after 50 years of slumber within being hidden by the government. And also, a lot of this revolves around a new location within this game that really becomes of high importance, the Space Colony Arc. The Space Colony Arc is of course all the way up in space and was a hidden research facility that had been abandoned for 50 years, around the same amount of years as Shadow. And so now it's up to Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles to join forces to be able to take down Shadow, Eggman, and Rouge. Sonic is obviously here because he has to take down Eggman again and also make sure that they don't do something too devious. Tails is of course a sidekick, while Knuckles gains the Master Emerald pieces, as that actually will become important later down the line. Shadow's of course here to help out Eggman, Eggman's here to of course achieve world domination, and Rouge is actually a spy. And she's doing all this to expose everything and also get the 7 Chaos Emeralds for her agency. She is a spy and is actively working for the president. The story of Sonic Adventure 2 is pretty crazy. There's a lot of incredible moments here. Like one of them being that once Dr. Eggman has a couple Chaos Emeralds already intact with the Space Colony Arc, he's already able to shoot a beam that was able to put the moon in pieces. The goddamn moon, dude. But I also really love the character interactions within these cutscenes. Specifically stuff like Sonic and Shadow when they meet, to then when Sonic and Shadow also meet each other for the final time throughout their main stories, and then them battling it out, to also interactions between Knuckles and Rouge, and stuff like that, and how that dynamic plays out within the couple scenes that they have within this game. Eggman is also doing all of this because this was stuff left behind by his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. This is really the first time we get an instance of Eggman's past and the people he's inspired and influenced by, and why he's the menace that he is now. And honestly, you can definitely see the parallels here. So of course there are 2 different stories here, and compared to the 6 different ones they had in Sonic Adventure 1, Adventure 2 has 2, with the last story being obtained after you beat both. The hero story follows Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles trying to take down the other 3 to be able to make sure they don't do this world conquest that they're trying to achieve. While in the dark story, you're watching Shadow, Eggman with a deal between them with Rouge to be able to make sure they achieve their goal. And this crazy ambition to achieve what Eggman wants and fulfill what his grandfather tried to achieve. And we'll get to the last story, but man, it does get crazier from here. But I want to also differentiate real quick. We'll get back to the conclusion of this game in a bit. But first, the other thing I really want to talk about is the voice acting again. Once again, the cutscenes are vastly improved by Sonic Adventure 1, with really the only thing people talk about in Adventure 2 is that sometimes characters interrupt each other while talking, but even still, the voice acting is also improved, and also, there are just some incredible lines in this game. One scene I want to talk about in particular is the scene where Sonic has the fake Chaos Emerald that they were trying to do in order to trick Eggman into getting the 7th. But then Eggman knows it's a fake, was able to obtain the real one, and also he shot Sonic out of a goddamn capsule and exploded within the middle of space. But Sonic was able to use a new move, Chaos Control. Something in this game that was introduced is that Shadow is able to use Chaos Control when using the power of the Chaos Emeralds. And I actually love this because it kind of shows that the Chaos Emeralds are way more powerful than people may perceive, which is what I love. That you can even do stuff like this where you can literally teleport with a Chaos Emerald. It's fucking sick. And Sonic even learns how to do it thanks to Shadow. It's kind of incredible because this is, if I'm correct, I think this is the only time really in the whole franchise and series as a whole where we really see Sonic do any of this, period. But the voice acting is really great. And I gotta be honest, Ryan Drunman once again does a great job as Sonic. Dean Bristow does insane as Eggman once again, and I believe his performance somehow even got better in this game than it did in Adventure 1, where Adventure 1 I thought he did great. In this game he somehow even did it better. But we also have some new castings this time around for this game. For this time, Knuckles got a replacement actor, and Scott Dreer, who actually does awesome as Knuckles. He's one of my personal favorite Knuckles voice actors. We also have David Humphrey, who portrays Shadow, and my god, he is incredible, really portraying the energy that Shadow is trying to give throughout this whole entire game. And then also you have other stuff, like Rouge being voice acted by Lonnie Minnelli. She does a really great job of showing the different style of a character that Rouge is compared to everybody else. But honestly, the person I really want to give a lot of credit to is Mark Biaggi, who does Gerald Robotnik. My god, when Gerald gives his speech in the last story, it's menacing. Alright, we'll get to that at some point. The very first thing I want to talk about though, real quick, is of course the music of Sonic Adventure 2. My goodness, the music of this franchise just keeps getting crazier. I don't get how they keep doing this. Let's talk about the music real quick, and put a highlight on some of them, shall we? Starting with, I actually want to start with the character themes this time. Once again, character themes return. And of course, some of them are similarly named to the ones for Sonic Adventure 1 returning characters such as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. They get their own themes, this time redone for this game. They have the same names, but are completely redone by different people, and they're done again for their characters. So this is It Doesn't Matter.
Don't show off, don't criticize. I'm just living by my own feelings, and I won't give in, won't compromise, 'cause I only have a steadfast heart of gold.
While we're on topic, this is Believe in Myself. And once again, this is Unknown from ME. However, for the Dark story, it's all completely different. For example, for Shadow, it's Throw It All Away. For Dr. Eggman, it is literally his name, but when I think about Eggman, this is the interpretation of his theme that I always think about.
The story begins with who's gonna win, knowing the danger that lies within. A boy at the ark, a genius at heart, wanting to unlock the mysteries of life.
Finally, Rouge has Fly in the Freedom. All these character themes are incredible. I really love them and the way they portrayed them. Especially with characters like Shadow and Eggman, they're really done well. But the other thing are the stage's themes. Man, we need to talk about them. City Escape, for one of them being Escape from the City. Oh my god, this song is incredible. I always listen to it. We also have something like Metal Harbor, which is really good. Green Forest is also really incredible, makes you feel the high tense of it, you being timed to be able to get out of the jungle. And of course, even something like Final Rush is just awesome. There's also certain Tales of stages I really love the themes for, stuff like Prison Lane, Mission Street is really great. Hidden Base is really good. I absolutely adored this. This is one of my personal favorite Tales themes in the game. But then we have to talk about Knuckles. Oh man, Knuckles has a rapper now for his stages called 100p. And while yes, he is controversial nowadays and however you feel about him now, during the time of Sonic Adventure 2, he was pivotal in bringing what Knuckles is styled as within this game. He brings a great style. Let's show all of his songs real quick, starting with the one he did for Wild Canyon.
Gotta chase a bat, huh? Yeah, rude, she's sexy and smooth. A double cross my thief, that's out for my Jews, I'm feeling her in mysterious ways. That's why I stay on point like every single day. I gotta protect this place, I do it for my race.
Then there's this one he did for Pumpkin Hill.
You know me, the fighting freak Knuckles, and we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ready? I ain't gon' let it get to me, I'm just gon' creep. Down in Pumpkin Hill, I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel.
There's also this one for Aquatic Mine.
Everybody flow with me. This is your boy Knuckles, and this is Aquatic Mine. Come on, y'all. Let's take a dive in Aquatic Mine.
There's this one he did for Death Chamber. And then finally, this is the one he did for Meteor Herd.
It's your main man Knuckles, and we're Meteor Herd. You ready to go in space? Help me get the emeralds.
100p was part of Sonic Adventure 2 to its core, and honestly, you can really see it here. While yes, nowadays he's a controversial figure, he was part of bringing the Knuckles style into this game, and he made beautiful music throughout it. Shadow also gets love here in his themes for some of his stages. Radical Highway is one of the most iconic and most beloved. I also really love the one he got for Final Chase. Eggman ironically has a lot of very interesting ones that I really love. For example, the one he got for Iron Gate is pretty reminiscent to his main theme. And the one he got for Cosmic Wall is really good. Rouge gets a lot of good ones as well. So let's talk about some of them. For example, the one she gets in Dry Lagoon is really good. Security Hole makes you feel the pressure of you being timed for 5 minutes. And I especially do love the song in Mad Space. Sonic Adventure 2's music is insane, and of course, everything is just captured beautifully to be able to really show the pure style that this game has. In my opinion, Sonic Adventure 2 is Sonic and the whole franchise as a whole when the style is perfected, and this is how it is when it's perfected. But now let's finally get into the final conclusion of Sonic Adventure 2. Oh wait, I can't do that yet, because there's something I have to recall from my Sonic Adventure 1 retrospective, actually. Do you all remember when I said I barely had any footage for Sonic Adventure 1's Chao Garden, and that I really wanted to expand on that in the Sonic Adventure 2 retrospective? Well, here we are. It's finally time to really give love to the Chao Garden, something that I've been wanting to talk about now on this channel. You see, in Sonic Adventure 2, the Chao Garden is very important to the game's culture as a whole, because it's one of the other components that made this game so replayable. In each level, there is a Chao key that you can find within a Chao box, but by the time you complete the level, if you have this key within your possession, you'll be able to go to the Chao Garden right after. All the animals and all the capsules that you've obtained throughout a stage when defeating enemies will result in you being able to use them to your growing and loving Chaos. You can be able to use them to upgrade them, be able to help them run faster, swim, fly, and even have pure stamina by feeding them foods and stuff like that, and even giving them animals can give them big boosts, but also affecting other stats entirely. And you can even use this to use those Chaos in minigames and stuff like Chao Races and Chao Karate. Most notably, the one I really love is of course the Chao Races. Chao Garden is one of the main components as to why people replay these games, because oh my god, the Chao are so adorable. But also just growing them and pretty much having something like an RPG system in this kind of way is really ironic and honestly really charming, because you can really raise as many Chao as you want, and the great thing is it'll always save. You can continue to raise Chao throughout many save files because the Chao Garden is its own save data, meaning that even if you deleted a file of your main story progression, you can still keep and secure your Chao Garden data, which is another great thing about Sonic Adventure 2 as a whole. you can continue to really grow and raise these Chaos, increase their levels, and be able to put them in these fun mini games that they can play. But also you can come here to relax a little bit and also enjoy this Chao Garden song that plays here, really just making you feel completely at peace and relaxed. The Chao Garden is something of Sonic Adventure 2's symbol, and would continue to return in the Sonic franchise moving forward, especially in games you wouldn't expect it to be in. The Chao Garden is something of such importance between Sonic Adventure 1 and Sonic Adventure 2, and the Chao would become something very beloved within the Sonic franchise. But now let's finally talk about the last story of Sonic Adventure 2. How does this game conclude? Let's finally talk about it. First, by talking something completely relatable to it. Throughout Shadow and his story in this game, we see flashbacks of him with this girl Maria, who is Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter. In this game, they had a very personal, good friendship, and Shadow was able to learn a lot with Maria. She was really the one thing that was able to keep Shadow afloat. There are instances of flashbacks where they talk about Earth, living life, and hopefully helping Shadow be able to find his answers that he's looking for, of who he's really supposed to be, of what he wants to become, really as a hedgehog. But it all came crashing down one day, when Gunn decided to infiltrate the Space Colony Ark and completely destroy everything of Gerald Robotnik's research, as well as killing Maria in the process. But before Maria got killed on the Space Colony Ark, she sent Shadow on the capsule to go all the way to Earth, where he was waiting for someone to release him for 50 years. Shadow sadly took this as a revenge ploy, so at first throughout the whole game he's kind of looking at his way to really help Dr. Eggman achieve his ambition. However, it's really in this last story where everything is really fully awakened. Eggman was actually kind of almost able to win in this game. I say almost because it's kind of complicated. You see, he got all the 7 Chaos Emeralds to be able to get the cannon to fire again in the Space Colony Ark after he did the moon demonstration. But there's a bit of a problem. There's a big warning sign, and the cannon is kinda not working. Well, it is working, but it's not in the way that you'd expect. And then Gerald Robotnik's message comes up. You can see the chains all around him and all the writing. This is really disturbing for a Sonic game. This is actually kind of dark. But this is where you really get the answers. Gerald Robotnik really got everything taken away from him, and even talked about Maria, and just in general everything that happened throughout his life. And this is where we find out that the Space Colony Ark is actually on a crash course to Earth, meaning that it's about to collide, and it can have a severe impact into the world. And so it's up to everybody to pretty much stop the Ark. This is where you get the final stage of the game, Cannon's Core. The way this stage works is basically you play as each and every single character having to do a specific thing to open a door by the end, or being able to activate a switch. By the end of it, Sonic and Knuckles will be able to get to the Master Emerald Shrine that got recreated somehow in the Space Colony Ark. It's kind of impressive they were able to do this. But then we also get another scene, because one character you didn't play as during this level was Shadow, and this is where Amy came to play. You see, Amy has been making appearances throughout this game as a whole, really joining the characters in the hero's story for most of it, but she was able to intertwine herself within the story. But this is where she makes the most of her impact. You see, Amy is able to talk to Shadow, really showing that there's a lot to love about Earth. Yes, people make mistakes sometimes, but people do learn. They grow, they adapt, and they are able to achieve things greater than they ever dared to imagine. You see, Earth is a world full of opportunity, and Earth is really a beautiful planet. When you're able to really take care of it, as well as also be a person living in it, you can really strive for greatness. And also, Amy really talks to Shadow. There's a chance here to save the people of Earth, and they deserve that chance to be saved, because these people will grow, and being able to fulfill their lives, to be able to live their everyday lives, in hopes that they can achieve what they're working towards, or even just in general get through their personal struggles, Shadow needs to give these people a chance. And that's really where Shadow finally really awakes in this game, where we get the Maria dialogue of what she really meant throughout Shadow, that she wanted him to protect Earth, to protect the planet, to protect people, and also to protect himself. Shadow finally awakened, and this is where Amy's message got taken to heart. He starts helping out Sonic and Knuckles here get to the Master Emerald Shrine by fighting a prototype of the Ultimate Life Form. Shadow in this game is known as the Ultimate Life Form, but my god, this prototype is kind of insanity that this is the prototype of what ended up being Shadow. Shadow fights this thing, Shadow easily takes care of it, and then it's finally time. The Master Emerald was able to contain the Chaos Emeralds, but the Bile Lizard was able to use Chaos Control, and is now one with the Space Colony Arc, and is continuing to use its own strength to help it go through a crash course to Earth. Which then, Sonic and Shadow finally come together and turn into their super forms. We get the final Hazard boss fight, which is a Super Sonic and Super Shadow boss fight, which is really incredible and a bit challenging at the same time. I feel like it's much harder than Perfect Chaos was in Sonic Adventure 1, ironically. And also, this is where we get Johnny Gioli's return in Sonic Adventure 2. He makes this song called Live and Learn, a song that everybody in the Sonic franchise, and even people in video game history know. If you love gaming, you have at least heard this song once.
And put you right back where you came. Live and learn, hanging on the edge of tomorrow. Live and learn from the works of yesterday. Live and learn, if you fail or if you borrow. Live and learn, you may never find your way.
Live and Learn is one of my all-time favorite video game songs of all time. I absolutely adore this song, I still listen to it to this day, and honestly, it's one of the greatest songs to ever come out of any video game, period. It also really sets up the incredible stakes of the fight, where now we're trying to save the Space Colony Arc, and also just save the world entirely. The stakes have never been higher, and this is as high as the stakes will ever get. It's time for Super Sonic and Super Shadow to join forces and take the final Hazard down. Once you do, you're able to use Chaos Control with both Hedgehogs, and this is where we see Shadow falling from space all the way down to Earth, fulfilling Maria's promise and sacrificing himself for the greater good of the people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Sonic Adventure 2. When you're going through the credits, you actually see all the characters interacting with each other, saying their goodbyes and their farewells, as well as also acknowledging what they just achieved was an incredible feat. But what I really love is the farewell to Shadow the Hedgehog as a character. They really actually planned this to be a one-time character, and Shadow the Hedgehog easily would have had the greatest one-time character storyline of any Sonic character ever. However, Shadow's popularity as a character grew more than anybody could ever imagine, and so Shadow would consistently return and would become major importance within the Sonic franchise moving forward. He would have many returns, as well as being a playable character in many games. Shadow is just a character that was way too popular to never ever bring back. And I get why they brought him back. But the way Sonic Adventure 2 ended really makes you feel like this was a game where Shadow was only supposed to appear in this game. And boy, it would have made a lot of sense. The farewells and goodbyes to this character were insane. And even the ending dialogue within the end of the game at the end credits for Shadow were incredible. But the one thing I really love is the ending that Sonic gave to Shadow. That is how you treat a character with respect.
Sayonara, Shadow the Hedgehog.
With that is Sonic Adventure 2. One of my all-time favorite games. It's in my top 3. And I absolutely adored this game with all my heart. This to me is the greatest Sonic game of all time, no question. I still adore this franchise and love games that come in the future of this. But I feel like the way this game captured the style, as well as everything it does, with one of Sonic's greatest gameplay loops, one of Sonic's greatest stories, its incredible stages, and as well as a one-of-a-kind OST, really captured the essence of Sonic Adventure 2's greatness. Sonic Adventure 2 is a game that will always be recalled within the community. It just recently celebrated 25 years as a video game. And this game was a 10th anniversary Sonic game celebration. Boy, did they really celebrate this series correctly. And well, as many people can say, Shadow the Hedgehog is an all-time character, and his sacrifice in this game will always be remembered. Because Shadow really was supposed to be a character we were only supposed to experience in this game. However, this game did everything that it could to really make a balanced story and really make you feel the characters throughout this journey. Saving the world this time with big stakes was bigger than anything ever before. And that is why I do believe that Sonic Adventure 2 is the greatest Sonic game of all time.
You